Okay, so today's something a little different. We're going to use Nate Herk's WAT framework and use his Claude Markdown file to basically build out a project for ourselves around Instagram analysis. So I thought it's just a really good demonstration to see how Claude Code works and how you can use a skill or a Claude Markdown file to really build something quite incredible. Anyway, thanks. We'll move into it. First things first, so where do you get the Claude Markdown file for the WAT framework? Basically, you need to join Nate Herk's AI Automation Society and look up WAT framework, and hopefully, the search, here it is. So we go to the lesson and scroll down, and here's his Claude Markdown file, which you can then download. I've previously downloaded this, so I will go straight into Visual Studio and show you how it works. Here's our WAT framework Claude.md file, or Markdown file I should say. I previously created a folder flow and put the Claude Markdown file in there. Now, what you'll see here is this Markdown file has a bunch of rules about how Claude should behave when it's in this particular project. So what we're going to do first is start up Claude within Visual Studio. And now what we're going to do is say, I've pasted Claude MD file into this project. Using the file, create the project structure. Now what I've got here, I've got edit automatically. So basically that will do all the things. It won't prompt me to tick off things as permissions are granted. Okay, so we'll run that. I might have to pause it. It'll just take a moment. Let's see how quick it is. In fact, I'll pause it just for the sake of the video. Okay, so that was actually pretty quick. It's built out the structure of the workflow project. So we've got a temp file. Temp directory, a tools directory, which within that's not much yet, but just a Git file. Workflows, again, we've got a Git file in there. We've got an env file for our future keys. Git ignore file, which is all good. It's got .env in there, which is most important, and Claude Markdown itself. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start our project, and we're going to basically run Claude. I'll paste in my prompt, which is a pretty simple one, but I'll just move it across and I'll walk through exactly what I'm prompting. Okay, so here's my prompt. I haven't set up Whisperflow yet, so I can't just talk straight into it, but basically got to do it the old-fashioned way by using a keyboard. I want to create an Instagram analyzer that compares my past 20 posts with the past 20 posts of these 5 successful Instagram AI automation influencers and does a SWOT analysis on the comparison. The 5 successful Instagram influencers are, and here's some I've found, and also compare things like engagement level and reach. I'm particularly interested in opportunities as I want some good ideas for new content. To get Instagram posts, use Apify. What Apify is a kind of like a web scraping interface that you can use an API key to access. So what we'll do, we'll get that running. In fact, what I'll do is go plan mode first and just see what kind of plan we can come up with Claude. Now this will just take a little while. Okay, so Claude is busy planning for us, and it's asked us a few questions. I need to put in my Instagram handle, which I'll do now. At Sam's AI Automation. There we go. Now, where should the final SWOT report be delivered? In fact, why don't we do a local HTML report? That sounds really cool. Do you have an Apify account and key? Yes, I do. That's all good. Submit answers. We'll just let him plan some more. Okay, so Claude's created us a plan. Let's have a look through it. Okay, so it's saying it's basically benchmarking my Instagram account against a bunch of others, which is pretty much correct. It's created it wants to create a bunch of Python files, which is good. Needs an Anthropic API key and an Apify API key, which I have both of those. Needs a little bit of Python installed. tool by tool plan. Let's have a look through. This all looks pretty good. Yes, I'm pretty happy with this. Okay, so there's a number of, gives you quite a bit of information really on what it actually wants to do, and I think this is good for basically if there's anything you see that is incorrect, you have a chance to change it at this point. Not that you can't later, but it's just better to do it here. Okay, so now verification. Now we need to add the keys, which I will do. Don't worry about copying them, I'll delete them later. Okay, so I've added my keys for Apify and for Anthropic, which were the required ones here, to the .env file. I'm pretty happy with the plan. I can't really pick anything else that needs to be changed. So what we're going to do is we're going to go yes and auto accept. What auto accept means is that any edit that Claude needs to make, it won't bother asking me if it needs to do it, it'll just do it. So we'll run this and I'll pause the video. Okay, so Claude's finished and it's created a bunch of Python files which you can have a look through, but you don't really need to know what now that Claude basically does everything for you. It's created its own Markdown file specifically to do with the Instagram SWOT analysis, and the only thing it really asked me was to run a couple of bash commands which to kind of instantiate the Python environments, but that's kind of unavoidable, and that's just a simple matter of clicking yes anyway, so that's all fine. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to run it. It says it'll take 2 to 5 minutes, so what I'll do, I'll run it. And I'll go, please run this automation. And I'll run this, and basically it'll go off and do the work for us and bring it back. So I'll get back to you when it's done. Just halfway through the run here, one of the really amazing things about Claude is it fixes its own problems. Basically, it's self-diagnosed a bunch of issues it had within the scripts, and it's fixed them. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, we'll just we'll come back to this when it's ready. Okay, so pretty exciting. Without really much more input, or any more input I should say, it's come up with this Instagram SWOT analysis, which is pretty cool. And it shows me my stats compared to some of these big Instagram influencers. Basically shows the content mix. It's interesting. Most of mine are image, but they haven't used image barely at all. In fact, they haven't used it at all. It's mostly been either reels or carousels or a mix of both. Engagement rate, I think something's gone wrong there. That's interesting. Average likes per post, so I'm not even registering here. Yeah, that's the same information in a different graph. Now, I'm going to read through this in more detail on my own, but basically it's given me a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, including a content idea, and threats. Interesting in the threats, it says basically I'm posting for the same niche, meaning I'm competing for the same AI automation audience against accounts with orders of magnitude greater algorithmic authority, which is not good news. But anyway, I'll keep posting. Actually, there's more. So it's got the top performing posts. That's great. Look, it had all of that. Really, very little input from me. I'm very, very happy with this. What have we got here? Allow this bash command. I'm not sure exactly what's going on here. I think this is going to give me some actual numbers in perhaps in a CSV or something like that. But anyway, I'm pretty impressed with what Claude's come up with here without too much input from me. Well done, Herk, on your WAT framework. It works pretty well. And that's it for me for this video.